Okay, hello students. Welcome to the second half of summer semester Chem 1220 class. My name is Professor Rowley. That's spelled R-O-W-L-E-Y. And there are people that spell the name the same way as me but pronounce it as Rowley or Rowley. There are a lot of those folks around, so I'll respond to anything if you do happen to see me in person sometime this semester and you call me anything that starts with an R and ends with an E, I'll go ahead and respond to that. But if you want to get it right, it's Rowley. Rowley is my name. And I'm a physical chemist, so if you go on to take 3610, 3620, there's a 50% chance you'll take that class from me or perhaps from Professor Jacob Dean, who's our other physical chemist. In an ordinary semester I would go into a little bit more detail about me and my research and things, but this is summer. We don't have a lot of time to get a lot of things done, so I think I'm just going to stick to business today and introduce how the course is going to be run. Of course, we're not meeting on campus. You'll be viewing this video on YouTube. I post my videos on YouTube because I figure they are a robust serving platform. With Canvas, I would worry perhaps that all of the videos going up at this time might make it hard for them to serve the videos, and I want to make sure everybody has access. So I figure a link to YouTube will work for anybody, anywhere, anytime, and that's the easiest way to do it. As far as other things like a Zoom meeting, other ways to make this course a little bit more interactive, I just don't see how that is going to be useful at a time when people in the summer perhaps have jobs, they're perhaps caring for children or other family members, those who are sick with COVID-19, or they themselves may fall sick at some point, and so I'm trying to be as flexible as possible, at least for this semester. And if I do other online teaching in the future, perhaps I'll try to be a little bit more sophisticated in the way that we do it. But for this class, for this course, you should be able to view the videos at any time and place that is convenient for you. As long as you get your assignments in on time, then there's no particular hour of the day that you need to be working on this class. You can find time that works for you. Anyway, let's kind of dive right into the syllabus. There it is. Now I'm not entirely sure what office hours is going to mean. I'll try to be physically in my office during those hours most days that I can, but I have some weeks, like for example this first week, where I have to be caring for my children because their daycare is closed and my wife works full-time as well. So at the very least I'll be sure to be by my computer and checking emails during that office hour so that I can respond immediately. And I anticipate that almost every day beyond this week I'll be physically in my office. So you can come and visit with me if you're on campus and you feel comfortable with that, and we can go over things like the homeworks or whatever else. So there's my email you can see. That phone number is my office phone number, and so again I'll be in my office sometimes. Certainly during those office hours it would be appropriate to call that phone number if you want to call in, but I won't be in my office all day, every day, and so I think email is probably the most reliable way to get a hold of me. So we can go past this course description. I think you should all have your prerequisites, and you're either taking Chem 1225 this semester, or perhaps you're retaking 1220 and you've already passed 1225. Anyway, for our course materials, I sent out an email earlier about our textbook. I had originally planned on using one textbook, and once this switched to an online course, I thought it was appropriate to use a different textbook, which is an online digital textbook, you should be able to access it anywhere you have the internet on any device. And that way you don't have a physical thing that you need to be carrying around. It's got a lot of great integrated technology. For example, in our homework assignments, there will be links directly to the relevant section of the textbook if you're struggling to answer a question. Because it is a digital textbook, they'll be able to take you right where you need to go in order to reread the appropriate section and be able to answer the question. So anyway, I had mentioned in that email that if you have already purchased the physical copy of the textbook, to let me know, and we'll kind of try to deal with that on a case-by-case basis. But I will tell you this: you must buy the digital textbook because it comes bundled with our homework, and there's no getting around that. Our online homework platform is something that virtually every general chemistry class at SUU uses, and it's a regular part of our chemistry classes. Hopefully you're already familiar with Sapling, and so you are going to have to buy access to the Sapling homework together bundled with that online digital textbook. Okay, so you'll notice there are details below written in the syllabus about how to sign up for that, and I'll walk you through that in about 10 minutes here. There's a study guide for the American Chemical Society final exam. We will not actually be taking the ACS final exam, and so this study guide is perhaps not quite as relevant to you this semester, but it is still a really good resource just to help you study. So if you want to purchase that in order to get extra questions and answers in preparation for your final exam, then you can go ahead and buy that, but I will be writing your final, and so it won't be an ACS final. Okay, learning outcomes, you can look at those if it's interesting to you. Here's our tentative schedule. So the lecture videos will be posted on Canvas by the listed date at the latest, and my hope is to work ahead so that the videos are put up at least a few days early in case you want to work ahead. And you can watch them at any time that is convenient. For the best lecture experience, I recommend that you read the indicated textbook chapter before you view each video, and that's why I've got every day here listed exactly what sections of the textbook we're going to be covering that day. So on Wednesday, June 24th, we're going to have this introductory video, and then cover chapter 12, section 1, and section 2. Now each section will be its own different video, and so there's going to be an awful lot of video links, but I think this might be a really easy, convenient way to organize it so that you can watch the video of the section that you're interested in, instead of trying to take like a 2-hour video that represents a whole day's worth of lectures and try to find the relevant part of that 2-hour video. Instead, we'll just have every section as one video, and that'll make it a little bit easier for you to navigate and view the content that you're interested in viewing. You'll notice that on week 3, we have our first midterm that will cover chapters 12 and 13. So you can take this midterm at any point during week 3. So from Monday, July 6th at 9 o'clock in the morning until Friday, July 10th at 11:55 p.m. or so is when that midterm will be available. And it will be in the form of a Canvas quiz. So it'll be listed on Canvas, and you can go in and take that quiz at any time during the week. And I do that so that, again, we can be as flexible as reasonably possible to let people that have scheduling problems still be able to take the exams. And so there's midterm 1. Midterm 2 is week 5. That's July 20th through 24th. Midterm 3 is the very next week. Summer semester moves quickly. Midterm 4 is the week after that, and we end Friday, August 7th with the final exam. And the final exam you can take any time during the day, Friday, August 7th. But you are going to have to take it that Friday. So we can't give you a whole week of time to take that final. It will be on Friday, and you'll have to arrange your schedule so that you can take that. The exams, I believe I'm going to put like a 2-hour limit on them, and so you'll need to sit down, and in one session, 2 hours long, you'll have to go and answer all of the questions. And of course, having an online exam like this opens the opportunity for students to cheat in a number of ways. So I am aware of that, and I've thought a lot about what is the best approach to take. As a teacher, of course, I don't want students to get away with cheating and to gain an advantage over their peers. But also, just given our situation here as an online class, I don't know that there's much I can do to realistically prevent some students from cheating. And so my philosophy is I'm going to undercut the cheaters by making it so that there isn't very much advantage to be gained by cheating. Okay, so what I mean by this is that on the midterm exams and on the final exam, I'm going to allow you to use your textbook and your notes. So please don't talk to each other about the exam, and please don't use Google and other outside resources, Chegg or whatever else, but you may use your textbook and you may use your own notes. Some students inevitably would do that anyway, and I can't prevent it. And so we'll just make sure that the playing field is as level as possible. We'll have open book and open note exams for this class. I hope that works out well. And because of that, I will make the exams maybe a little bit tougher than I normally would, but I'll try to not overdo it. I hope that you'll find that the exams are very reasonable. They challenge you an appropriate amount and are not either too difficult or too easy. That's my goal. Okay, so your grade will come from a number of categories. Each of the midterm exams is worth 10% of your grade, so a total of 40% from the midterms. Final exams, a little bit more than that, 15% of your grade. I say in-class quizzes, sorry, that's carried over from a previous semester. We'll just call them quizzes because we don't meet in class. These quizzes are special assignments that I write. The key and the solution will be available to you online, so you can work through it on your own and then check your work, and they're graded on a purely participation basis. So they also have no due date. If you fall behind, you might miss homework and you can't make up the homework, but at least the quizzes you can make up. This way, if you do fall behind, you have a little bit of an incentive to go back and make sure that you've mastered the material that you missed, instead of just leaving it behind and trying to forge ahead without it. So the quizzes will have no due dates, and they are graded purely on a participation basis. They will be sometimes kind of short, and sometimes they will be substantial, but we'll always provide a key so that you can check your work. And then and they're 15% of the grade. And then the homework is 30% of the grade. And this is the Sapling online homework, which we'll get to in a little bit. There's going to be a grading scale. So at the end of the semester, you will have earned a certain number of points and you will have missed a certain number of points. Your grade will fall into one of these ranges. There are always students that say, oh, can you round up? I got a 93.4. Can you round that up to an A? I'm like, no, an A is 94 or above. Now, I will typically round up those that are exceptionally close to the cutoff, but That's something that I do only for people that are within 0.25 percentage points of the cutoff. I need to cut it off somewhere, and frankly, part of me wants to just stick to this scale and never do any rounding at all. But but I can understand if someone gets, let's say they get a 73.85, and that's the difference between a C minus and a C, and they're only 0.15 away. We'll round them up. But anybody that is more than 0.25 away from the next grade cutoff will have to stay where their grade is. Okay, and students will always ask me, what can I do to improve my grade? And the answer is, you can get problems correct on your exams and on your homework. There is no extra credit. Everything is credit. There's nothing extra about any of it. You get answers right. You turn in your assignments on time with correct answers, and that's how you improve your grade. There's no magic extra things. Okay, so Sapling. You maybe have done Sapling before. The sign-up process for Sapling in this course will hopefully be a little bit more streamlined than what you've done in the past. So all you need to do is log into our course on Canvas. In the course materials module, you'll select student registration, and it will walk you through. You'll have to enter your name and your information. You will have to provide some payment details for Macmillan Publishers, and then you'll have access to Sapling. And all of the Sapling assignments will be integrated into Canvas, so you'll never have to go to sapling.com. You can always follow links from Canvas. All the assignments are in the Canvas calendar, and hopefully that will make organization of this course pretty simple and straightforward. Let's see. So some of this, I apologize, I copy and pasted from previous class before I knew that this would be online, so attendance policy, I guess, is pretty irrelevant. Late work and makeup work, every semester I have students that miss a homework assignment due date, and it's extremely frustrating to me as a teacher. Let me explain the competing interests and ideas that I have in addressing these issues. I want students to learn the material, and if they are given an opportunity to make up late work, then they're more likely to learn that material. And if I say, once the due date is up, you can't turn in your work anymore, most students will say, well, fine, I won't do that work, and they'll never learn. As a teacher, my goal is for you to learn. And so I'm very tempted to be loose on homework assignment due dates. But that has never served me well in the past. Whenever I begin to make exceptions, it begins a vicious cycle. More and more students are late more and more of the time, and it just becomes a terribly frustrating and demoralizing process for both the students and for myself. And so you need to do your homework on time. And the due dates that are listed are the dates that the homework are due. And I understand that sometimes something comes up and you had intended to do the homework and you weren't able. And my solution to that, my answer to that situation is do the homework ahead of time. If you wait until 8 o'clock at night, the evening that the homework is due, and you haven't even looked at it yet, then something could come up and prevent you from doing the homework, but that's your own fault. You should work ahead. The homework assignments are substantial, they're long, and they're difficult. And so if we have a homework assignment that covers all of chapter 13, on the first day you should do the first third of that homework assignment. And then on the next day you do the next third, and then on the third day you finish it up. Do as much as you can after each lecture each day, and then you'll find if on that last day something does come up and you aren't able to work on it when you thought you would, well, at least you only missed a portion of the homework assignment instead of missing the whole thing. Okay, and I guess I don't want to pontificate on this too much, and I certainly don't want to begin moralizing about it. You can work ahead if you like, or you can do it 8 o'clock the night before if you like. All I'm going to say is that the due dates are going to be rigid. We do not have enough time in this summer semester for missing homework assignments and things. We've just got too much to cover too quickly. Okay, I'm done with that. I don't know if there's anything else here that deserves a special call out. There's always some students that will require some sort of accommodations, usually with test taking and whatnot. I don't believe I've received any notifications about that this semester, so even though it is online, we can still make accommodations if that applies to you. Just make sure that we communicate and set that up ahead of time, and I'm happy to comply with that. Okay, and that's that. So I want to show you the website. It may look a little bit different for you. This is my view, but here at the top we've got the introductory material, and this is where you will have your student registration. So you can use this link the first time when you are registering, and you can use the other link every time from here on out. Load student registration, and because I've already registered, it's just going to bring me directly to our course website. But for you, it would bring you to a registration page. And here you can see we've got upcoming assignments and events. You can look at all of the assignments down here. This is probably the way that you're used to navigating with Sapling. But I want to point out that once you're registered, you never really have to come to Sapling at all. You can go back here to the modules homepage, and if you scroll down here, you'll notice we have homework assignments listed. So Chapter 12 Conceptual, I'll go ahead and click on that. And there is a link that will bring us to the Chapter 12 Conceptual Assignment on the Sapling homepage. And again, it'll look a little differently for you because I'm in instructor mode here. But all of the assignments that you need to do are listed here on the course homepage. Oh, my internet's being a bit slow. And this homepage is going to have everything that you need, and the video. This is where the videos will be posted as well. By the way, in fact, by the time you view this, it will probably look different. All of these assignments are here, and then you can also go to the calendar. And perhaps you prefer the calendar view. If you're in here in the calendar, then give it a sec. Oh. There we go. You can see homework assignments here in the calendar view. Chapter 12 and Chapter 12 Conceptual are due the evening of Sunday the 28th. And your Sapling homework will always be due a Sunday evening. Basically, any chapter that we concluded the previous week is going to be due before we start the next week. We don't want it to be falling behind at all, but we also want to make sure that we've covered the whole chapter before the assignment is due. So you can see Chapter 12 homework due the 28th, and if we move ahead into July, Then we have 13 and 14 due the next week, and 15, 16, 17, etc. You'll notice that there are two different types of assignments for each chapter. This is also probably new for you. The conceptual assignments are shorter. They aren't mathematically based, or at least not as strongly based in mathematics. They're asking the conceptual questions, and I would recommend doing that homework assignment first. And then the other assignment, just the regular one, these are particularly long and particularly arduous as far as their mathematical requirements. And so make sure that if you do Chapter 12 conceptual, remember homework 12 is going to be even longer, and so make sure you do that one as well. In addition, if we come over here to Sapling, and I'm going to go to this activities and due dates page because that's the easiest way for me to navigate here. We have these learning curve assignments, and they will be in Canvas. I was surprised to not see them there. I must have forgotten to add the learning curve assignments. Learning curve assignments are an opportunity for you to get extra practice. They've got feedback and opportunity to answer the question again if you get it wrong and things like that. So the learning curve is in some ways a really good tool. However, they are not required. They are worth 0 points. You can ignore the learning curves, you can do the learning curves, whatever you like. I've looked at them, and Macmillan is really proud of what they've done here with the learning curve assignments, but ultimately I've decided they're not as valuable as the other types of assignments. They're only multiple choice, which is a little bit limiting. And then they're also like adaptive, so if you get every question right, then your assignment will be much shorter than if you miss some questions, because the idea is that you need to demonstrate mastery by accumulating a certain number of points, and you'll just keep going until they'll keep giving you questions, more and more and more questions, until you reach that number of points. I think that's a really great idea, but it is also in some ways fundamentally unfair. Some students will get more questions than others, and anyway, I just don't want to deal with the headache of trying to require learning curve assignments for credit. Instead, they're a resource available to you for extra help. Those are the learning curve assignments. Let's see. I think that's probably about it. Let me come back here. You've probably had these attendance quizzes before. So this is in order to fulfill a requirement with the university that we track students' day of first attendance. So please do remember to take this attendance quiz. And all the other assignments, I apologize, I'm actually in my workshop at my home here, and I'm breathing in a lot of sawdust here. But all of the assignments will be on Canvas. Hopefully that all makes sense, and I will be ready to help you with your homework or to help you with understanding the organization of this course. Please just email me and or come visit me in my office. I'll be happy to visit with students one-on-one or in small groups in my office, except for this week. Every other week I will be there. Okay, great. I'm excited to work with you, and good luck.